So the next session, which is the highlight for the evening, is the panel discussion session. Now, the previous three editions of Value Investing Forum, which we had at Motilal Oswal, was more to do with inviting, eminent equity investment, value equity investing practitioners, and add value in terms of how they invest and give their inputs. So this is for the first time we are changing the format of Value Investing Forum, and this time we are inviting actually leading financial advisors from across the country, different parts of the country, with a direct rapid fire session with Mr. Ramdev Agarwal on the real challenges and opportunities which they may face in equity investing. So I would like to start inviting our panel members, and I would like to begin by introducing our first panelist, Ms. Rupa Venkat Krishnan from Mumbai. She is one of the most renowned and successful financial advisors in India. She's practicing IFA since 2003 with primary focus on creating long-term wealth for clients through quote-unquote equity mutual funds. I mean, round of applause for that. She is passionate about financial inclusion, has mentored many IFAs, thereby widening the distribution base for the industry. So thanks, Rupa. Welcome. Our second panelist is Mr. Gurpreet Singh Kabli from Delhi. Gurpreet sir is a chartered accountant by profession with over 20 years of experience in wealth management. He is also one of the founder members of DFDA, a renowned IFA association in North with a large AUM and client base. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Our next panelist is Mr. Ashish Shah from Ahmedabad. Ashish Bhai is a mechanical engineer by qualification. He was employed with oil major HPCL in Mumbai before he decided to start a financial services business from Ahmedabad in 1992. Having started from a 200 square feet home office and staff of 4 people, today he operates from a 8,000 square feet office with 35 people in Ahmedabad and 19 people in Mumbai. One of his key achievements, it's very noteworthy, is that he has not lost a single client since in the last 22 years. So a big round of applause. Our fourth panelist, Mr. Christopher Lozado from Pune. Christopher sir is a partner with Intrust Advisors LLP and is also founder member of FIFA. Christopher is an ex-banker with over 23 years of experience in financial services and wealth management industry. He practices unbiased, ethical, and high-quality advice combined with high levels of service. Welcome, sir. Our final panelist, Mr. Ramesh Bhatt from Chennai, who is a certified financial planner and also a CPFA with 27 years of experience. He operates his investment firm known as Aniram and deals with all kinds of financial products. Aniram is also SEBI registered sub-broker under SMC Limited. Mr. Bhatt is founder president of Independent Financial Advisor Association called IFA Galaxy. IFA Galaxy has a Google group with 10,500 IFAs as registered members across India. He is General Secretary of Federation of Mutual Fund Distribution Association in India, a unit of Voice of MFD. So welcoming all of you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ramdev Agarwal, our chairman for Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company, founder. He of course doesn't need any introduction. So Mr. Ramdev Agarwal is a Dalal Street giant, as we know him, widely known and acknowledged on street for his groundbreaking investment ideas. Stock picking is his passion. Annual reports are his bedtime reading material, and he weaves stories out of numbers. The co-author of Corporate Numbers Game, he has featured on Wizards of Dalal Street on CNBC TV 18. He is member of the National Committee on Capital Markets of CII. He is author of the much awaited and anticipated annual wealth creation study that will be launched in December 2014. So welcoming all of you. I would like to invite Ashish to moderate the panel and take the session forward. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Are all the mics on? Okay. Can we have the lights on? No, the house lights should be on, but these, the focus. No, so because, Charles, can we have the house lights on? Okay, so thank you very much, Akhil. Thank you, everybody. What I'm going to do is, before I'll just give you a brief background about how we are going to do this panel. So the panel is going to have three sections, basically. In the first section, we are going to talk about equity conviction with investors. So what we've seen over a period of time is that, of course, you saw Naveen's presentation, you've seen Ramdevji also speak. I'm sure you yourself have done your own analysis as far as markets are concerned. And lastly, if all of this doesn't work, then the number of 8,000 works. So what we've seen is that over a period of time, all of us in the room might have some conviction about investing in equities. But how does one pass on this conviction to investors? Or what is investors' reaction to what is happening? So we're going to have the panel in three parts. In the first part, we'll discuss about conviction with investors. We move on to the second part. In the second part of the panel, what we're going to do is we're going to speak about what works in equity investing. In terms of, yes, if we have conviction, and like Naveen mentioned, if you're actually looking at, and there are a couple of questions on it also, like Dilshad asked, that if you're actually looking at this number becoming 27,000, then how should we invest? What actually works when it comes to investing? What philosophies and what kind of processes will work? That's the second part we are going to cover. In the third part of the panel, the third section of the panel, we are going to, allow the panelists to kind of also pose some questions based on what investors are asking them. That, when you speak to investors, not only about equity conviction, but in general about dealing with asset managers, what is it that investors are looking for and what are the common questions they face from investors? And I hope that, since we have the panelists which are from this group itself, I hope that it is going to cover most of the questions. At the end of it, we'll still have some time for Q&As from the audience as well. So before I throw the discussion open or invite the panelists, what I would do is I would first request Mr. Agrawal to give his opening remarks for the first 5 minutes, and then we'll start with the questions from the panelists as well. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Good evening, friends, and thanks for coming here. So nice to see, and it's a really pleasure to sit here, and it's my own house. So आप लोग आए बहुत अच्छा लगा. So, so you feel free to ask questions when we open the floor for questioning, and keep the environment easy because equity investing in any case is very tough. So, लोग इतना डरते हैं कि so keep it very simple. So investing is at one level it is very simple. If you want to make 15%, you don't have to do anything. जाके आप इंडेक्स खरीद लें 10-20-25 पैसा लगेगा, कोई टेंशन नहीं, मैनेजर का कोई रिस्क ही नहीं लो, रामदेव ये वो कोई टेंशन ही नहीं, आपको 15% बहुत प्रेम से मिले. You can see 34 years average, it's about 17-18%. With dividend, it is more like 18%. So it's very easy. But when you want to make 25%, it's far more difficult than what it looks to be. It's far more difficult. Everybody tries to imitate one hero or other. No, but that you have to imitate the way hero is built. It's not that you cannot be that hero, but the grinding which he has gone through, it has taken 34, 35 years, 50 years of tapasya. Buffett is now 83 years old. He started buying stocks at the age of 11. If you read his biography, Snowball, then you realize, I was thinking I have come up hard way in India. He has come 10 times harder way. If you read the Snowball, for first $1,000, how he has gone through. He actually did Hamali almost. Then he ran away from his grandfather's shop. So he has really come a hard way. And then in last 70 years, how you read his papers, starting from 55 till date, we have read for 45 plus 14. So 60 years papers are available, whatever he wrote. So actually, he has actually improved and he has become so much better. And he's actually improving even now. You imagine at the age of 82, you improve. So how do you think? So investing in equities, I also started in, just to recap, I started equity investing in 1980 when I was a student. uh, very excited about equity and stock market buff. Day in, day out, you think about equities. But there was nothing much to read. That time, you're not getting books, you're not getting newspapers. So you were just reading the balance sheets. And I was chartered accountant, so I loved reading balance sheet. So that became my foundation of, what you call investing. But till about, then we started the small sub-broking business in 87 because we didn't have any capital. So Motilal ji and myself, two bosses and one peon, zero capital. We started this company. And slowly, for first 4, 5 years, we didn't know what is happening in the market. In the sense that it was a bear market and people were wondering at that time. When we started, there was no index, there was no Sensex only. There was no Sensex itself was born, conceptualized sometime in 87 or 88, and they started calculating from 78. But actually the Sensex was born, the Sensex committee, I don't know who all were there, nobody bothered about printing it every day. You couldn't find it what is Sensex level. But in 89, 90, people used to come out with a headline, will it ever cross 1,000? You can see the Dalal Street and Money magazine used to be there. The headline used to be, will it ever cross 1,000? मतलब 600-700 में तेजी होता था लगता था कि 1,000 क्रॉस करेगा फिर it did cross 1,000 from 600 in 1990 600 650 in 1990 it went to 4,200 in just 2 years and that gave birth to Motilal Oswal. We were 12 lakh rupees company in 1990 and by the end of storm when storm got over when Harsha Mehta was arrested we were 30 crores in pocket. So what happens is this is how the rhythm of this market is. And so what I was trying to say was that investing is more about thinking and thinking about the future. Because when you are buying today at fancy prices, you are not buying the past. Past is only a glimpse. You are buying the future. What is the most expensive company? TCS. It is the best buy. Why? Now that why is the most important thing. You're not buying at, what is the price of TCS? 2600, yeah, I'm sorry. So, but it is available at about 5,25,000 crores. I remember only the market cap, I don't remember the individual price. So people remember only individual price, they don't remember the market cap. That's the difference. Okay, so it is the most expensive company. So whenever I look at the price, first immediately I figure out is what is the market cap. So you are paying 5.5 lakh crores. Today's profit is, last quarter profit was about 5,100 or something. So they're expected to make about 22,000 crores profit. Why the hell you are paying 5.5 lakhs rupees? 5.5 lakh crores. So you are trying to make that, you think that this company can make that much money and multiple times more. Because 5 lakh crores to aaj bhar rahe ho aap. So it must make at least 10-15 lakh crores so that you can make some money. Isn't it? So utna potential hai kya? And you have to think that much. So you have to have mathematics, you have to have simple mathematics. You have to be able to add up in next 10 years what is going to happen. If they make 22,000 crores now and they grow at 20%, how much they will make in next 10 years? Or 5 years or 15 years? If you think there is a longevity of 25 years, can you calculate 25 years? People can't calculate 3 years. So market is dumb at one level when it comes to thinking about 5 years, 10 years. So that is an opportunity for you. Because the people who can think for long term, why Buffett says that we want to, if we buy good companies, my typical holding period is forever. Why he says that? And forever means he's talking about almost forever, like 50, 40, 50, 60 years. We are worried about next quarter. I mean, next quarter is a long term. तो अभी क्या बोलोगे बताओ अभी आप? So the issue is that we have to understand investing. What does investing means? We have to understand difference between investing and speculation. I mean, it took me 25, 30 years, maybe 25 years के age में मेरे समझ में आया what is the difference between investing and speculation. So what is investing? I mean, these are very simple things, but we have to go with very peace. Why? What makes me peaceful? Because I'm an investor. What makes you uncomfortable? Because you're a speculator. All the clients are speculators, I can tell you this. Nobody is an investor. The guys who are investors, they are peaceful. And you see, I mean, those guys are not, they will never, I mean, you need to really see the investors. See, like, what happens is, investing is about stock performance, sorry, underlying asset performance. Speculation is about, we don't care a damn about what is happening in the company, only about the price performance. That's the fundamental difference. And asset performance is not going to come in 1 quarter or 2 quarter or 4 quarters. It takes time. Motilal Oswal has become this big, 3,000 crore company in 30 years. It took 30 years and it took a lot of hard work. When you do hard work, honest work, with integrity, it builds up. It does build up. We are not rocket scientists. Simple 2 chartered accountants. सवेरे 9 बजे आने का, शाम को 8 बजे आने का. ईमानदारी से काम करने का. सब क्लाइंट को सही बताने का, गड़बड़ नहीं करने का. So, because market is opportunity. It is not because of me. It is the country is growing. It is the economy which is throwing you opportunity. It was a 10 crore company in 2003, 2 crores profit. By the time one boom over, 2007 boom over, we were 900 crore company with 300 crores profit. It is not because of me. It is because of the underlying exponential economy. India is an exponential economy. It's the largest turnaround country in the world. But why it is sick? Because of leadership. One of the reasons, I'm not all. Maybe we are poor, we are a lot of people, we have hostile borders, there are a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is we didn't have great leaders. Because the great country needs large, I mean, even a small company needs leaders. But this size of the country, it needs a, paramount leader, very large leader. And after 60 years, you are getting one leader right. After Gandhi, probably, and probably Nehru, who died for the nation. He's the first guy who wants to die for the nation. He doesn't have dynastical ambition. He doesn't have financial ambition. He has only one thing in mind. He wants to improve this country. He's not socialist. He's a capitalist. Pro-business is pro-poor. So you are assured when he starts acting, he will act for pro-business because stock market is all about pro-business. If it is anti-business, market will crash, even if Modi Sahib is there for 20 years. So this is the environment. And look at the quality of mandate. What is the mandate? This is 272 plus, not BJP. It is 272 plus Mr. Modi. If it was not Mr. Modi, BJP would have got 44. आप पक्का जान के रखें आप उसको 44 ही मिलता था विदाउट मोदी. LK Advani as a leader, they would have got 44. So, the issue is, and you would have got Rahul Gandhi as the prime minister. And then you imagine what would have been market. So you try to see what you have got in hand. Let's celebrate what we have got. Because see, when the leadership changes, it's all about the future. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Whether we are going to go to 10%. See, when it comes to predicting, I'll tell you, today morning, I had to go for a walk in Worldly Face. Every day I go. When I got down, it was raining. It was really raining good. So, abhi main socha, abhi kya karne ka? What do you do? So, should I abandon it and go back home? I said, no, let's go. I mean, it's a 2-kilo drive. I drove, and I generally see that, because if it is raining like this, I would not start. I'll just drive back and come home. When I reached there, it was completely dry. I mean, it had stopped, as if they were waiting for me that when I come, let it stop. So you can't predict 10 minutes of rains. Forget about predicting the, outcome of this country and this nation and the global forces. There are too many moving charts. So what you have to focus on is what is the downside. Don't focus on how much we can make, 29%, 30%. Now in a wonderful presentation here. But it's not about that. If it goes 1,000 times, we'll be happy. If it goes to 1 lakh times, then we'll be happier. That is not a problem. I can stomach any amount of upside. How much stomach you have for downside? First check that. Because the biggest problem people don't come to the stock market is the fear of loss of the capital. Am I correct? That's a 100% reason. People can also say 18%, 18 versus 8. Itne gadhe nahi hai log. But they are scared. They have bad experiences. The crash and ये वो मतलब 18% drop in JPSOC price. उसको लगता है कि वही मेरे पास है कभी. वो बहुत डरता है वो. And CNBC में Mr. Sukhani रोज डराते हैं सबको. So, how do you handle this? That is your problem. How do you inculcate investing, culture among the people? That's your issue. And you have to find, see, when you go to doctor, you have to figure out who is a good doctor. Now, you can't be, if you want one doctor, you find a doctor who is satisfactory enough and you go and get your things done. Is he a best doctor? I mean, कोई ऐसा certificate नहीं कि who is the best doctor. Best doctors are also a problem. So, the moment you are a good doctor, and that's how people do it. I have a GP who is, I don't know whether she is the best or not, but she is good enough. So that's how you go about investing. If you have a good plan, just play it. Don't wait for the best plan. So I think investing is very simple, and it's all about the future. Go with the guys who know how to think about the future. Go with the guys who have a philosophy, and the philosophy you agree with. I have a philosophy very well stated. This is a Chinese food. You don't like Chinese food, don't come here. Or if you want Chinese, Mexican, Lebanese, Japanese, everything, that's 4 managers. You choose 4 managers with the 4 style of investing. But we will do what we are saying. We are not going to change the board. Once you get in, Chinese board, when you get out, it is a Mexican board. No. It will remain Chinese. That I can guarantee you. But whether you like the Chinese food or not, that I can't guarantee you. Process is guaranteed. Outcome is all for you. But it has worked in 11 years. Why we give the 11-year chart? Because this process has delivered the results. There is no reason why it will not deliver. Mr. Modi has delivered the results in Gujarat. It will deliver. Now, whether it will deliver or not, who knows? Who knows? So you have to bet. You have to bet on the future of India. You have to bet on the leadership of Mr. Modi with a 10% downside. 7,200 is the number when this mandate came on 16th May. Mr. Modi, BJP, this country, this building, nobody knew. It was not there in the market price. And there is a huge difference between 272 plus BJP or Mr. Modi oblique and 272 plus or even 400 NDA. These are two different things. He's a king. He's a headmaster now. So that's why, and he doesn't have 5-year mandate. He has 1-year mandate. If he doesn't perform in 1.5 years, life will become miserable for him. So that's why, without spending even one day, he started with 16-hour schedule. People are losing weight in Delhi. You ask them. You read the papers. So I think big reforms are going to come in this thing, and it will be incremental. Good thing is you're starting at 4.5%, 5%. And it will go to 7, 8. I'm telling you, they are preparing for double digit. 10, 12, 15% over. किसी को नहीं मालूम. Just prepare yourself for 10% downside. If you can take 10% downside, and that too, let me tell you, it will be 6 to 8 months loss. This country, see, Modi Sahab is not running this country eventually. It is you and me, we are running the country. So this country has, even without Modi Sahab, with Rahul Baba, it was 4.5%. So उतना तो आपको मिलेगा यार, Modi Sahab इतने खराब नहीं है. With Rahul Baba and Manmohan Singh and paralysis, you can get 4.5, 5%. With Modi Sahab, you'll get at least कुछ तो credit दो यार उनको. So मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, कुछ अंत नहीं होने वाला है. In 1 year's time, Naveen's presentation that 1,340 rupees and 1,500 all, it is going to come. There is no Modi effect in that. There is no Modi effect in that. All the charts will go wrong, I'm telling you. All the charts will go wrong. But it will go wrong on the upside. By big margin. He will revise. You just see how he'll revise. Yeah. So with this, we will stop, and I think we'll start. I think today is the exam. सब लोग आए हुए हैं. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, like I mentioned, we're going to have 3 parts in this. I mean, he's obviously, Mr. Agrawal has given you his perspective. Naveen has shared his perspective. When it's on your side of the table, stepping into your shoes, it's one thing for us to communicate with you. It's another thing for you to communicate with investors. And I think Christopher has some points to share on that. So I would like to invite Christopher first to bring up his points.
Ramdevji, we all seem to be convinced with the potential of the country, and especially, as you said, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the chair. but the retail investor is still not back. Now, you are interacting with investors around the country, and you've interacted with investors across market cycles. How would you go about giving your same conviction to the investor on the street, and what message would you give us to pass on to the investor? Because he has to be convinced, and I think the last 6 years has been pretty unnerving for him. So for him to regain the conviction, possibly at these levels with the stock market having moved up, he's constantly skeptical.
And the TV says 8,000 all-time high every day, again and again, 3 times in a day.
Even GDP, even GDP is all-time high every day. Why don't they say that? Every day GDP is like a bond. Every day it is higher. So when the economy is expanding every day, your potential of the economy is also expanding every day, even at average levels, wherever you are. So every day is a new high in the economy. That nobody tells you. So it has to be, I think, to the retail investors, it's a process of evolution. And in 3, 4, 5 years, nothing happens. It is like thanks to 6 channels and a lot of newspapers, magazines, and internet and all, things will change, behavior will change. What happens is every bull market sucks in a lot of investors, all types of investors. So last time between 2003 and 2007, in 2003, I remember the private sector mutual fund was very small. And dematting had just about happened. Market has become very safe. And then in the 2003 to 2008 bull run, you got about a few lakh crores. And including the appreciation, you became almost 2.5 to 3 lakh crore kind of thing. And it gave birth to the 2 or 3 a lakh crore AMCs, which were nothing in 2002-03. They were all my clients, right from day one. This bull run which has started, in next 4, 5 years, it will suck in millions and millions of clients. They will come. Now, it is, since you all are intermediary to the clients, you have to go and explain them that with a 10% downside, would you like to make 100%, 200% in next 5, 6, 7 years? And you have to keep holding. It's like a new person entering that swimming pool, who doesn't know how to swim. So he's always scared of sinking. So you have to tell them, boss, I'm here. You're not going to sink. And nobody sinks. Downs are temporary, ups are permanent in the markets. So yes, there could be little trouble. So what could be the trouble? It can be 10%, 50%. If you're not able to convince the guy for 100% upside, 10% downtime, for some time if you have to take, then it is tough. So I think you have a wonderful, very, very important thing to don't scare them, because the scaring comes from the timing. That you want to get it timed right. Like अभी 8100 है, तो 8100 से नीचे नहीं जाएगा. So, the moment you get into that game, that, okay, तो थोड़ा बहुत चढ़ गया बाजार, तो अभी 8100 मत खरीदो, अभी थोड़ा correction, buy on the dips, ये बहुत बढ़िया word है, buy on the dips. अभी क्या मतलब होता है dips का समझ में आता है, कितना dip करने का, कभी करने का समझ में आता है. So people they feel it very nice. The moment CNBC anchor says that when should we buy? Buy on the dips. You look very smart. Buy now. डूबना तो पूरा डूबने का फिर.
So I think, yeah, so Mr. Kabli, yeah, please.
Yeah, like what I want to say is like the biggest problem which the investors have faced in last 6 years is that, the industry is benchmarked. The industry judges itself by benchmarking to, say, certain indexes. And the investor expects a linear return. So that is the biggest challenge which the industry faces, because the investors are used to those fixed income kind of products. So how do you...
See, one of the thing is that we have a 8-9% interest rate on so-called fixed deposit, and but people don't realize that inflation is also 8-9%, and not 1 year, 34, 40-year history, whatever is there in the books. That is 8.5%. Inflation is post-tax. Pre-tax आप करें inflation को तो it will work out to 11%. आप किसी को बताओगे जाओ कि 11% का inflation rate है और आपको 9% मिलता है ब्याज में, they will never go to the bank. But that's what it is. It's very deceptive. So somebody has to educate, and that's the job of the wealth manager. See, why they are intermediate. See, the persons who are not talking to you all, that is one thing. But this is the fundamental job of yours, to say what is investing, accumulating more purchasing power for the money you are passing off today. And that can happen only if you beat the inflation, isn't it? So इफ़ यू आर नॉट बीटिंग इन्फ्लेशन, आप लोग खुद जाके बोलते हो कि 90% प्रोफाइल, ऐसा हमने प्रोफाइलिंग किया है कि 90% आपको फिक्स्ड इनकम में रहना चाहिए। तो क्लाइंट करेगा क्या? उसको थोड़ी समझ में आते हैं सब बातें। वो तो बेचारा सीमेंट बेच रहा है, कोई फार्मेसी बेच रहा है। यू आर सपोज टू नो दैट, यू आर द इंटरमीडियरी इन ऑल। इंसिडेंटली ऑल द financial products are not bought, it's always sold. It's not a perfume, है ना? So who's selling it? You are pushing it. So you have to educate them that what is good for you, and that too you have to do it honestly, that this is good for you. You should have, अभी जिसका, जैसे मैं कल किसी से मिला, उनका 100 करोड़ का एनुअल कैश फ्लो, his portfolio has 75% debts, 25% equity, and that 25% equity is by default. Because appreciation happened, that's why. He might have put only 5-7%. So he's literally 95% in equity, sorry, debt, and 5% in equity allocated. And every year, 95% of the incremental flow is going into debt. And he's got 100 crores coming in every day. He doesn't know what to do with that. He's Jan also. So kuch khata hi nahi wo. So the issue is that, see, the 90% responsibility is that of intermediaries. आप लोग सब उनको बेवकूफ़ बना के रखते हो, और बाकी जो दूसरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो CNBC का, वो बंद ही कर देने का उठा के। Because see, early in the morning, 10 o'clock, if somebody says that boss अभी गिरने वाला है, अभी रुक जाओ, कुछ नहीं खरीदने करके, फिर क्या है बंद? You know, so you have to handle your client with a lot of this thing, education. If you don't have conviction in the market, there is no way you can convince other guy. I am trying to convince with everything. I got 16.5 crores dividend 3 days back. You ask the guy how, at what pace I put the money. 10:25, I was in Pune or somewhere. They said, dividend has come, sir. I said, before 11 o'clock, it should be in the market fully. We invested fully. We bought F-35. So you have to have conviction. And your conviction will translate it to the persons. And it is by example. Slowly they will understand.
So Ashish bhai, I heard in the beginning, in your introduction, that you not lost a client in 20 years. So I think you also will have something to say about how...
The reason is simply, I think you will not like, my 90% assets are in fixed income. That's why I don't lose client. Sir, honestly, I'm one of the large debt market, we have desk and everything. Honestly, the wealth creation for me as well as for my client is done by equity only. Only by equity only. I'm fully convinced about your
Mathematics clear.
mathematics clear. Yeah. But the thing is, let me tell you what is the ground real reality of 2008 to today. If I check up any client's portfolio, maybe direct equity and a mutual fund. We have both, we sell everything, okay? Suppose we take a direct equity, maybe advised by me or anybody else. That portfolio has any R group or a J Prakash, that fellow has not still recovered his capital by 50%. You know, what is the reality? You should the investor, why we all are advisors, what is the client's problem? You know, there is a friction in the client. Every day he sees the lifetime high index, Mr. Modi is there, GDP, blah, blah, FII, where he sees his portfolio after 7,500 Nifty, बोलता है मेरा 10 लाख लगाया था यार आशीष भी, मेरा तो भी 8 लाख भी नहीं हुआ है. It is a friction, there is something wrong. You know, equity वैसे भी उसको एनिमल लग रहा था, अभी उसको ये कुछ डिनोसर लग रहा है. See, client as majority are still in negative territory as far as capital employed is concerned in direct equity. 2, mutual fund assets is compared to the market cap is very negligible. We have hardly 3 lakhs crore out of the $1.3 trillion, okay? Now in a mutual fund, what happens? See, I done very critical analysis after meeting you last July. I take a mutual fund portfolio, very diversified. Generally, there are 6 to 8 mutual funds, as you say, Thai, Chinese, sometime. If there is any infrastructure fund or a diversity power fund, client's portfolio is finished. Still, he has not recovered his money till the 7,000 Nifty. Now, client says, okay. Now, what we do when he meets me, we really say that you have to go diversified equity fund, then this usual return. Okay. Now, we show you that blue chip or any of the sheet of 10 years, 11 years, 15 years. Client says, boss, Ashish, मेरा return का क्या हुआ? छोड़ ये सब पैसा निकाल, we'll revisit you. This is the, I think, reality to all my equity clients. Sir, I work 13 hours nowadays after Mr. Modi because I believe, fully endorse your ideas that these equity markets, मेरी life का ये last bull run है. बरोबर? तो फिर I work, but this is the reality. Client नहीं मान रहे हैं because उसका खुद का पैसा नहीं मिला है. See, last I'll tell you.
Can I ask you one question? आपका नाम भूल गया मैं.
आशीष.
आशीष भाई, Are you convinced about equity?
I am putting my all money in equity.
So then why you are not able to tell
No,
the
no,
same
these are
thing?
the problems I'm telling you. Because he has
No, no.
6 fund.
भाई आपके फंड में ही लफड़ा है. सी आपके पास भी जो यदि इक्विटी 2008 में जो भी भाव था वो आपका तो उसको नीचे रहेगा ही ना. यदि बाजार यदि 40-50 टका गिरेगा तो कोई माई का लाल बचा नहीं सकता किसी को.
नहीं सर, 2008 का पैसा 6 साल हो गया, 2014 में उसका प्रिंसिपल भी नहीं आ रहा है.
तो 2008 में जितने हैं सब स्पेकुलेटर्स है. सी दे
सर 6 साल को स्पेक्युलेटर आप नहीं बोल सकते हो.
ना देर ट्रू स्पेकुलेटर्स.
He is Reliance, he is Tisco, all the blue chip stock recommended by all the portfolio managers, he's not making money.
No, the problem is when did they come?
2000 any time 2007 के फरवरी के बाद का पकड़ लो.
हाँ, वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
6 साल उससे 7 साल निकला है. यू हैव गिवन द निफ्टी के 10 शेयरों का वैल्यूएशन आज भी नहीं आ रहा है सर.
नहीं आएगा, कभी नहीं आएगा. बिकॉज क्या है देखिए, आपका जो है साइकिल जो है, सी दिस मार्केट हैज अ साइकिल. नाउ आई कैन डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट.
Yeah.
दिस हाउ दिस मार्केट वर्क्स. 85 वाज द फर्स्ट बुल रन, जब भी राजीव गांधी और वीपी सिंह आए.
Or the
92 was the worst of the bull run, that is Harsha Mehta. Thanks to them, Motilal Oswal is here. 2000 was Y2K boom. 2007 was global credit boom. So it has its own tendency of हर 7-8 साल में एक बूम करने का और बस करने का. अभी मोदी साहब के नाम से होने वाला है. अभी मोदी साहब के नाम से बहुत गलत काम होने वाला है, ये बात पक्का है. अभी शुरू में देखो, व्हाट वाइज पीपल डू इन द बिगनिंग, फूल्स डू एट द एंड. अभी क्या है, मोदी साहब इज जस्ट इलेक्टेड. अभी क्या सब डर डर के घुस रहे हैं. अभी जो स्मार्ट बंदे हैं, जो एफआईज हो रहे हैं, सब के सब चले जाएंगे. अभी क्या होगा आखिरी में जो है ना, 8,000 निफ्टी, 9,000 निफ्टी, 10,000 निफ्टी, 12,000, अभी कब तक नहीं खरीदोगे आप? ओके, यदि आपका पैसे डबल होगा तो बाजू वाले को बहुत तकलीफ होने वाला है. ओके, सो देर इज अ ग्रीड एंड फियर एंड पीपल गेट इन ओनली बिकॉज द एनवी. सो 2007 में क्या हुआ, 52,000 करोड़ आया. दैट इज 1.3%, 1.3% of the GDP. 45 lakh crores was GDP, and 1 year subscription was 52,000 crores. I can guarantee you in next 2 to 3 years, जब भी पीक होगा, I hope it is after 5 years, but जब भी होगा पीक, उस साल का जैसे GDP अभी का GDP 120 लाख करोड़ है, 3 साल में GDP 1,50,000 crores होगा. Get ready for an 1 year inflow of 2 lakh crores to 2.5 lakh crores, and you will all bring it here. I can bet on this. So this is the investor behavior.
I
Yeah.
fully agree with you, but this is the reality. That's why
No,
investors are
but
still
what I'm
not
saying
coming.
is that if you can't bring your client, and if you can't convince, see, I cannot go to the client, your client. We go only through you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I know it cannot be sold directly. I mean, it is not a FMCG product. जो आप यहाँ एडवर्टीजमेंट लगाओ, लोग लाइन से यहाँ पर फ़ोन करके खरीदने वाले, वो आपका वेट करेंगे. So it has to be sold. Okay, so it is a cycle. Today you are going, they are not listening. Tomorrow they will come to your office and you will not listen. But particular person like you, वो होगा वो, और आपको शेयर में डालना ही पड़ेगा पैसा. लेकिन क्या है, it is an opportunity for you to educate your client that sir, आप 3 साल के बाद आने वाले हो, 50,000 के इंडेक्स में आने वाले हो, तो अभी चलो. I am telling you one thing, if you don't like equities, and I am talking about you, not the clients, if you don't like equities at 25,000, please don't come at 50,000.
Bean bonds only.
I am telling you, it will be 10 times bigger crowd and 10 times bigger check, and 50,000 is knocking the door. Please don't change your view and help your client form the view now with a downside sticker of 10%. Don't bother about the upside. Upside बहुत होने वाला है.
Sir, I can add you one more thing, if you allow, Ashish. Analyze little bit detail whatever I have. Suppose client has started putting some few millions in 2006. Now he has a direct brokerage from Edelweiss or whoever it is, research houses and all. What happens? See, sir, what do you say? Buy right, sit tight. The fundamental difference, according to me, please clarify for me at least. The interest of the advisor, there is a broker in a direct equity I am talking. जिसके बलबूते पे investor is coming to the market. The revenue interest of the broker and the earning interest of the investor is totally different. They are not aligned, sir. 20% प्राइस बढ़ गया SBI, ब्रोकर के डीलर का फोन आता है, बेच दो सनी. अभी now Ashish, you show the fantastic worksheet कि the 10 का 6 right decision होता है. Exactly what has happened. पहले 10 एडवाइस आएगी कोई भी ब्रोकरेज से, तो मेरा 60% अच्छा हुआ. तीसरी एडवाइस पे मैं 15% पे आ गया, क्लाइंट भाग गया मार्केट से. सर, इट इज एज सिंपल एज दैट. 2 lakhs टर्मिनल इन 2007. all the valuations of the great brokerages houses, all the brokerage houses, valuations, whatever, were 2 lakhs people were trading in the market. I think they killed the investors, sir. Can you throw some light because you are also one of the brokerage house? I think we have done a disservice to the investors,
No,
sir.
no, no. It is not a disservice to the investor. See, वही आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा whether you are speculating or investing. We clearly have services. We are the largest equity brokers. You go and check. I keep telling everybody that boss, you be very clear whether you are recommending for the speculation or whether you are recommending for investments. And clearly, the investing side is not there. There are only 5%, 10% of the guys who are interested in. See, basically, everybody's portfolio has become hybrid portfolio now. 70% of the investment is in the, they are actually stocks and they want to hold it for a long time. And 30% of the money they are trading continuously. But होता क्या है कि somewhere in that mix up, everything gets into trading. And अच्छे share वो margin में दे दो आके सब चलाता हो. So that's been the, what do you call, that's a, I would say, decline of the market practices, and maybe it is a media. I think dematting has really created that trouble in the sense that it has become so easy that today you can buy 1 lakh share and tomorrow you can deliver it. पहले क्या होता था आपने एसएससी खरीदा तो 12 महीने में तो शेयर ही नहीं आता था आप पे. So that used to give you at least 12 months time to hold the share.
सर ब्रोकर के वहां से फोन नहीं जाता था. लेट मी टेल यू क्लैरिफाई डिटेल. ब्रोकर के वहां से इन्वेस्टर को फोन नहीं जाता था कि 20% एससीसी बढ़ गया आप बेच दो.
But boss,
And I
listen,
think-
you are managing your money. See, when you are broking, listen, there is a fundamental difference. When you are managing your own money, when you are a broker is only for execution. You are managing your own money. When you are coming to mutual fund, fundamentally you are changing the rules of the game. Now the manager is the professional manager. And the fundamental difference between the professional manager and amateur loves to book profits. He loves to hold the
I
losses.
disagree, sir. Till 1993, 94, when these brokerage houses were not listed and all,
No,
it
that's
was not
okay.
happening.
No,
No, sir. It is totally, sir, revenue increase for the broker and the dealer and their
Yeah, yeah.
commissions
But-
has really done the disservice to the retail investor in
पक्का,
this
ठीक है,
India.
ठीक है, वो किया
And
होगा.
today,
Yeah.
last year आपने बताया था मेरे को कि 25,000 पे इन्वेस्टर की लाइन लगेगी. And we are at 27,000. It was on July 3rd I met you here, the same room.
I'm wrong.
नहीं wrong नहीं सर. वो
Yeah.
मुझे अभी कौन से इंडेक्स पे आएंगे वो लोग मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ.
वो अभी जब आएंगे तब आएंगे वो.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, so you see, you cannot predict at what price who will come.
Price rise, sir. We have done a fundamental disservice to the investor class by allowing them to make them traders from the investor.
So you must recommend to SEBI, please close down all the broking houses.
Automatic हो गया ना सर. देखो सर, nature has taken care.
See, the
2 लाख टर्मिनल से कितने टर्मिनल हो गए देखो ना.
Ashish bhai, you are, please pardon me, but you are going away from the.
Sorry sir.
See, the point is, see, the biggest problem is people trying to manage their own portfolio when they cannot manage it. See, it has become very complex. Stock prices are 5,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees. There are FIs who are buying, looking at 10 years, their money cost is 2%, 3%. It has become very complex. So there are very few guys who can manage their own portfolio. Okay? And particularly from Gujarat and Rajasthan, they think that they are the gift of the God for the managing the portfolios. Okay?
अभी तक गॉडी है साहब.
हाँ.
मोदी साहब गॉडी हो गए.
नहीं वो गॉड हो गए, वो तो गॉड ही है, उसके कारण से हम लोग सब चलेंगे. लेकिन मैं क्या बोलता हूँ कि इंडिविजुअल पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम. यू हैव टू, इट्स लाइक डूइंग योर ओन हार्ट सर्जरी. सो द पॉइंट इज एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू हैव टू से दैट बॉस आई विल डिप्लॉय अ प्रोफेशनल मैनेजर whosoever be that. So the problem, why people are not, in fact the issue is, despite all these problems, why they are not going to the doctor, why they are doing it themselves, and you are trying to find solution for that.
So I think, last time I met Ashish bhai, he mentioned, gave me some interesting inputs, and based on that, I did some analysis on numbers, and he mentioned something about what people are holding in their portfolios. Very interesting thing. If you look at it in March 2008, at the peak, okay, see, one of the biggest value destroyers in terms of market cap has been Reliance Industries. He did mention something about Reliance. We're talking as a stock. So at the peak of the market, they were just under 5 lakh crores market cap. But what is more interesting is that Reliance Industries at the peak of the market had 28 lakh shareholders. Okay? 28 lakh shareholders today, as per what Ashish bhai is saying in his own terms, is that 28 lakh shareholders have their money under the water, whereas Nifty is at an all-time high. In the same period, The best performing stock is HCL Technologies. Can anybody take a guess how many shareholders HCL Technologies has? Take a guess, I'll give you a prize. The biggest value destroyer, 28 lakh shareholders. HCL Tech, how many shareholders? 87,000. Reliance Communications in 2008, how many shareholders? 21 lakhs. Sun Pharma in 2008, can you tell me how many shareholders?
10,000? 10.
Not that bad, 30,000. So one of the things which is happening is that 28 plus 21, there are 49 lakh people who are massively upset with the stock market. And there are approximately 1 lakh people who are very happy with what is happening. So it's but
Many, but
a data courtesy, I mean, I pulled out the data, but
that's
that
why
was...
investor is not coming to the market, sir. He has not made money.
So I think that one of the, very important point which I think we need to bring out is that if we just go by what has worked in the past, see, if you try to buy the running item, I think, it's very important to be counter-cyclical. It's very important to look at quality of what you're buying. It's very important, like I did the same analysis on 15th May. On 15th May, I'm not going to take names now. On 15th May, the best performing fund in the industry had almost 90% return in the last 1 year. As of 15th May, last 1 year return, so 15th May 2013 to 15th May 2014, best performing fund in the industry, almost 90 to 100% return. The top holdings of that fund? Jyoti Structures, Reliance Communication, Reliance Infrastructure, Reliance Capital, JP Associates, Suzlon, Unitech. Now, based on that 100% return, if you buy that fund, what do you think will happen in the next 1 year? Okay, so I think there are some interesting points that keep coming up if you look at data very closely. But I would like to, pull in Rupa at this point in time. Any observations? Or, you were in the midst of the storm just now, so if you have any observations, you can share with us. So how many clients have you lost? Because I know you are a equity, full conviction in equity, and I'm sure you must be losing a lot of clients day in, day out.
I don't lose any clients, but I choose to lose them.
Then they are not in equity.
No, I choose to lose them because they don't, they are not in my mindset because they get into the trading mentality. So I think saying that I don't get into
Keep it
them.
up.
So I choose to disown the clients rather than I own them because it disturbs me. So that's the thing. But sir, I would like to ask you, in your experience, what works in creating wealth in equity with your experience in all these years? I'm asking this question because when you started your PMS in 2003, did you ever expect saying that your PMS would yield 26% CAGR returns? And what conviction you had that time and what was the thought that you had at that time?
So, as I said, I started from 1980. So it was almost 25 years. I had not taken my sister's money also. I said, this is very dangerous. So, and around that time, we thought that probably we can manage some money. And we said, let's start with a PMS and it will be some people who think that the way we do it. And we had a lot of clients. So we went to our own broking clients and told them that you have a 100 crore portfolio. So why don't you give us 1 or 2 crores, 3 crores? Then we got one client who is the largest client now. He gave me about 4.5 crores, 5 crores worth of portfolio, which we cleaned up. And now he must be 65, 67 crores. And he's the largest client, single client. So, the thought process was same, Buffett principles. Till about 96, I had 225 companies in my portfolio. I cleaned up the year in which I understood that this is a wrong way of going. But apni samajh se, after reading, that you must clean it up. I cleaned up in 1 year, and that year portfolio doubled. Market didn't double. My portfolio doubled. So, that's the power of focus. And then we started practicing. When you have 15 companies, you will not buy junks. Necessarily you buy quality. So we started buying quality and very few companies. That started doing very well. And of course, there was a blessing of Buffett. Continuously you were reading every year annual report and books and all. Then by 2003, we were pretty confident that it works, the system works. So, you know, how much money you make finally? You make as much money as the company makes. You don't have to bother about the market at all. It's all about what has happened is, as Ashit Bhai was saying, initially when we started in 87, even in broking, it was all about the companies. It was all about ये company अच्छा कर रहा है, वो company अच्छा है, चलो खरीदे, 200 शेयर खरीदे, 100 शेयर खरीदे. Now it has all become index and prices. Nobody bothers about the company. Investing is gone to the dogs, and that's why the problem is there. So, but in my view today, the reason it works is 99.9% time. I believe that you must focus on the company. Only 0.01% time you must invest in stock. I mean, seeing the market. You must see the market once or twice in a year, in a day or week and all. But don't be obsessed about market. Market is only as a reflection. Company जैसे आप टाटा टेली महाराष्ट्र लिमिटेड, वो 8 साल से हर क्वार्टर में लॉस करता हो, बट टाटा और टेली दोनों है, दोनों ही बहुत बढ़िया नाम है. सो बट देन 7 रुपये का कभी 20 रुपये होता है, कभी 22 रुपये होता है, लेकिन वापस घूम के वो 7 रुपये में आता है, बिकॉज दैट कंपनी इज मेकिंग लॉसेज. So you have to be very clear. And why Tata from the same group, TCS has gone from 2,300 to 2,500 and 5,000 and 10,000 because they're making amazing amount of money and people don't know how much money they're going to make. If I tell you the story of what could be Tata TCS and why we are excited about it, then you will realize that there is a literally, this is a kind of unlimited money they're going to make. And hence, this price is also low price. So the issue is the focus has to be purely on the companies and few companies. You cannot see what happens is when it comes to companies, in 4 or 5 companies which you understand, the business you understand, you can be much better than the market. Market doesn't know that much. जितने 25 लोगों को आपको मालूम है TCS के बारे में, उतने मार्केट को मालूम, उससे कम ही मालूम होगा, average. But individually, I know a lot more about TCS. So I can be much better, superior in 10, 15 companies. But when it comes to the entire market, I will be significantly lower. Market is too powerful, too varied, too widespread, too complex. So that I realized that I am a small man, I can know about 10, 15 companies. So let me stick there. And we started practicing that. And we didn't bother about what others are doing. And you see what has happened. We, right from 2003, we said expect 15% because the average was 15%. I said 15% baja ka average hai, you expect 15% and that on a 5-year basis. It will work. But it ended up delivering 26, 27% after fees. Means actually we have delivered with indexes before fees. Our strategy is after fees. So we have delivered about 28, 29%, 30%, and 2.5% on 26%. You do the compounding, you'll realize in 11 years, it is very different thing. I mean, like you are talking about 2.5 times or something like that of the market. So it is the process which works. It is not about the, I mean, we have also committed mistake on the way, but it is the confidence in the process, QGLP, which we kind of branded it just 2 years back. So it is the process in which I have confidence. We never believe in the inside information. If anybody tells me that here is my phone number, Ramdev, please call me up for anything you need about the information, I will sell the company. Every time I lost money because the management came close to me or I went close to the management. So zero inside information. We never believe in any inside information. We keep at arm's length. For 18 years I'm holding Hero Honda, but I still can't pick up phone and figure out this month how much you are going to produce. I don't know. It comes in the flash. I can feel the price. And I know how much the analysts are going to be wrong. So I can feel from price movement that production is good or bad. So you have to use the analytical power. So we have the analytical power, or we have developed frameworks which allows us to know few companies. And that is what is the real, strength.
So, just wanted to ask something to Mr. Bhatt. The questions, the discussion here which is happening is about buy right and sit right and long term and wealth management. But a lot of times I think, we come across with investors who have always been investing at 8-9% in their deposits or fixed interest, 8-9%, right? And they are probably looking for 2% more. And when you're talking about wealth multiplication or wealth creation, you're talking in terms of multiples. So more often than not, what could be happening is that here is a guy who's looking to get 2% more, and we are showing him the stars and the moon and saying that multiplication. So how do you actually, like in your experience, have you seen, like, do you see people relating to wealth creation, or do they find that we are showing them some?
Yeah, that's a good question. In fact, when we talk to our clients we talk about, see, in 1981, 10,000 rupees invested in Wipro has grown to 500 crores. And we say that equity is going to be like this only. You can invest in a very good time. You can enter in market. All these stories, especially when Sir was talking about Modi factor. When Modi was elected, we were telling people, come on, it's a time to invest in equity. Come on, invest in equity. They started investing. They entered at 21,000 range. 21,000 range they have entered, and now almost 25% growth, and it has gone to 27,000. Now the client comes and asks us, see Ramesh, it has gone from 21 to 27. Your Modi factor is biased over. Now, what should I do? That is the question. Well, we are talking about the wealth to the client. Your 10,000 is 500 crores, all this acceptable. But should I book profit now? Can I book profit now? Can I come out of the market? When we say, sir, buy right, sit tight. How tight? See, example, 2008, if I have not booked profit, if 2008, then we say, sir, why do you talk about 2008? See the PE of 2008 and see the current PE of the market and see the future of the market. It never goes inside the mind of the client at all. They have their own conviction. When they come to the office, I should take it out, I should book profit. This is the type of the conviction people have, the clients have. How to convince them? I need your expert opinion, even especially people who are sitting here are facing that problem. In fact, when before election, a lot of friends here who are sitting here might have faced the redemption problem when it was the before election. Everybody was saying the third friend may come, or Modi may come without majority, 200, 220 seats plus, etc., etc. All this was running on. That time, our friends were facing redemption problem. Subsequently, the money came in. Money came in. But it has rallied now, 27. People are all, see, especially media. Media is making people scared. How to overcome that?
See, we are talking about problem in the brokerages, problem in the media, problem in what the client thinks. See, there are two types of decision. I mean, I can't really figure out why people don't buy, you know. So you are close to the client. I'm not even close to the client. So, you know, the issue is that you cannot do anything about what is not in your hand. There are two types of decision. One in your control and one in somebody else's control. You can do nothing about what is going to happen outside. Better embrace it as it is where it is. There are certain trends, 200-year trend, which will stay for next 200 years. People will come into the market only out of greed. Get ready for those greedy guys to come in. And they will come when they want to come in. You can't force them to come in. That's one thing. Second, what you should be doing. First thing is you must set a good example by yourself. First thing, whether you are convinced or not, despite, it's like mother and the child. Child has his own tantrums. वो रोएगा, चिल्लाएगा, कूदेगा, खाना नहीं खाया, कुछ करेगा वो. But mother has a very firm idea. He has to go to the school on time. 7:45 he has to stand there. Whatever be the trouble. So that is how you have to behave. You have to say, boss, this is right. And this is how we'll do it. Whether you like it or not. Some guys will follow, some guys will not follow. But eventually more and more guys will follow. You know, look at Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, when he started in December in Goa, nobody was a believer. They were within the party. First, biggest challenge for him is to win BJP itself and convince them, please appoint me as the leader of the pack, as a prime minister candidate. How much he fought? It was touch and go. You know, there was so much of, you see the newspapers there. It's only 5, 6 months old story. But, you know, they have to be firm. They did. That's why Rajnath's contribution is massive. He aligned the whole thing. And they declared him as a this thing candidate. So that's the role you have to play as a leadership with your clients. And you will be known for it. People will remember because people are short-termish. You have to tell them investing is about little longer term. It is the longest term asset. Equity is the longest term asset. And debt is the shortest term asset. But people have the longest term holding in debt and shortest term holding in the equities. क्या बोलने का?
Yeah, so Chris, any observations?
Ramdev ji, I've got a few questions which pertain to something which Ashish had mentioned a little while ago. He mentioned about a top performing fund house which had given a 90% return in 1 year. Now, invariably, it happens that within the distributor fraternity as well as the investor fraternity, everybody looks at trailing returns and makes their investments.
Everybody looks at.
Okay? Now, the second part about this was that even over the last 6 years, we have seen that often some of the best fund managers have trailed other fund managers at different points in time. Your buy right, sit tight philosophy will most probably show up and come up trumps over a full market cycle. And you will underperform, or possibly fund houses and schemes underperform over 6 month, 1 year, 1.5 year durations. What advice would you give to the distributor fraternity and the investor fraternity to sit with funds with the correct philosophy over a market cycle? Because otherwise all you're doing is chasing returns of the best performing fund, and you churn your portfolio 4 times within a market cycle. Whereas actually if you just stayed with a fund through the market cycle, you would get top quartile returns.
See, first thing is whether you really want to make money or you want to make your commissions. Okay, you as intermediate, because you have a very big role to play in this game. Okay.
So the question is from the investor's perspective.
No,
Because
but
investors,
investor is
Investors and
distributor. No, see, for us, actually the my baap is the distributor. The person who is between investor and the fund house. And it is you guys. So it is your responsibility to see that you don't act like a speculator. You know, it comes to the same understanding whether you understand difference between investing and speculation or not. Because if you also start timing, because your client wants to time, the whole trouble comes from the timing of the market. It's the biggest cancer. Iska koi dawai nahi hai. But, you know, because everybody wants to buy low and sell high. And the moment it goes low, he thinks that he should have sold. You know, there is a feeling of loss of profit.
Correct.
And everybody wants to sell there and again buy back at lower price. Yesterday, somebody sold Nestle at 6,200. He thinks that he has done a good job. And he was holding for 15 years or 10 years. Now, वो लड़के को विदा करने वाली बात है. वो कभी आएगा नहीं वापस. वो 7,000 में थोड़ी खरीदने जाएगा वापस. You know, the issue is that, achha, I don't know whether it will correct to 5,500 or 5,000 or not. It can. But even at 5,000, see the guy who bought at 1,000, sold at 6,200, do you think he will buy at 5,000? And do you think the stock is going to come significantly below 5,000? So obviously it is gone forever. And now what junk he will buy in place of that? Because there is nothing better than Nestle in terms of quality. So he'll definitely buy far some lower, or maybe he'll buy some debt. So the issue is that, you know, what attitude one has. So we have to convert ourselves. It has taken me a lot to say buy right, sit tight, and convert the entire gang to believe that we must believe in buy right, sit tight. You know, you have to start believing in those kind of things. And that only will turn the tide. Otherwise, we'll all flow in the same thing. There'll be very few guys who will believe. I mean, the force is so much with 6 channels and 200 brokers. It is very tough to stay invested. And, you know, you sign little bit here and your stock is gone very comfortably. So it is a very challenging environment to remain invested, to remain investor. Even for a person like me, let me tell you. So it is a very hard work, a hard job to be to bring investing attitude on the table and to expect that your clients also will have the same attitude. So it's a challenge of that.
No, my question was more to how to convince a client to stay through the market cycle with your fund specifically.
Yeah.
Not to stay invested, but stay invested through a market cycle with a particular fund. So that he gets the full benefit of that fund rather than chasing a trailing return.
Yeah, see, first thing he has to decide to stay in equities. Then we'll decide whether he wants to be in my fund or somebody else's fund. If he wants to stay in equities, there is no better friend than my fund, I can tell you this. Because I'm a guy who believes in staying invested. Okay, but if the guy wants to get out of the equities, then whether you are in my fund or somebody else's fund, you have to get out. My fund, see, when the markets fall, it is not that when the market falls 40%, will not fall 40%. Maybe it will fall 35%. If you've done very well, will fall 30%. But it will fall. So if he wants to stay away from the market when the stock market is falling, he should better sell whatever he has. But we know nobody can time the market. A very dear friend of mine, he was right in selling at the top. I was wrong in not selling at the top, despite probably having a feel that it is a top. I didn't sell. My friend sold. He could never buy back at the bottom. He kept on thinking market will go lower, lower, lower. He could not buy. He bought it higher than the price at which he sold. तो क्या मतलब हुआ?
So one of the points that emerges from Christopher's question also is that so you bought a particular fund for a reason.
Yeah.
You like the philosophy or whatever. And then you come across a juncture where by sticking to that philosophy, the fund starts underperforming and somebody else is beating the daylights.
Yeah.
So how does one convince the client that, okay, remain invested?
Yeah, see, see, nobody can guarantee you everyday outperformance. Nobody. I mean, forget about me. God even cannot perform. So the issue is that if you are looking for everyday outperformance, if the client is that determined that every day he will come back and see in the evening that he has outperformed or underperformed, I don't think we want those kind of clients. I mean, we cannot do it. Let's face it. See, you got to be reasonable with the expectation. They're all human beings. It is a person like you, probably lesser IQ than yours, who are managing the funds. So what can be done will be done. We are saying this is the process. We'll buy quality company, good business managed by, it's a very simple process. Buy good business, run by good management, buy at reasonable price. Look at next 10, 15, 20 years of growth rates. See, jitna company grow hoga, utna hi aapka portfolio grow hoga. Whenever you see TCS, Infosys, iShares, and understanding 10-year growth is an art. You pay most of the money you pay for the guys who can understand next 10, 15, 20 years growth of good companies. Okay? And if you find somebody who can actually practice and you have experienced that practicing, you have to go and follow. How do you go to Babaji's? Ramdev Baba, Asharam ji, सब लोग ऐसे ही आते हैं ना, उनका सब ठीक होता है इसके लिए सब जाते हैं. Whatever satisfaction you get, whether you get spiritual satisfaction or whatever. So it's like that. At the end of it, there are very few practitioners. Why we go to, I go every year, 32 hours of flying to Omaha, every year. People in America, they ask me, why the hell you come every year? But I don't care a damn. They don't know what they're missing. I tell them, boss, तुमको 2 घंटे का flight है, तुम चला जाया करो, Omaha. I take all those goras from New York to Omaha. They become my guest. So you have to have faith in what you're doing. You see, you should be able to figure out whether this manager is right or not. आपको यदि ये समझ नहीं है कि डॉक्टर सही है कि नहीं, उसके बाद भी आपको ट्रीटमेंट कराना है, उससे फिर तो तकलीफ है ना फिर. So I think the real thing is to figure out whether these managers have capability to take care of your money or not. At the end of it, money management is complex and it has cycles. And in India particularly, it has a deeper cycle. So whether the strategy is good to take care of you in the downturn or not. Upturn, anybody can stomach. But when it falls, and we had a fall in 2007, so you see whether the strategy worked or not. It also fell. You can get analytics. What is the downside capture? What is the upside capture? You're smart in that. If it has worked, and if the market fell 50%, it fell 40% or 30%, and whether there was a liquidity or not. At that point, if I want to get out, whether I can get out or not. If the portfolio was good, high quality, I can tell you, people love to buy this mid caps and all. Even high quality mid caps. When market will fall, nobody can exit, I can tell you. It will be a vertical fall. Because आपको लाख शेयर बेचने का है, उसमें 20-20% निकल जाएगा. ओनली लार्ज कैप्स यू कैन गेट आउट. बहुत मस्ती है अभी मिड कैप का, मालूम पड़ेगा जब भी गिरेगा तभी. बी वेरी केयरफुल हाउ मच यू हैव.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a supplementary question to your answer just now what you gave. See, you have in your portfolio, you have faced the financial technology fall. Financial technology, you had it in your portfolio. As rightly you said few minutes back, the vertical fall in a particular stock in your portfolio, how you have overcome that problem in the fund?
Very good question, and it is a very pertinent because we have gone through this process, and so we are experienced people. So, बहुत expensive पड़ा. See, you must understand the process. What is portfolio management? What is portfolio? Why you have to have portfolio? I can be wrong in a stock, but not in the portfolio. Every fund manager is safe because of portfolio of good stocks. So what happens is I can be wrong in financial technology. So let me just make you understand what is a simple portfolio theory. So you buy 15 stocks. 5 stocks will be wrong for everybody. 5 will be average and 5 will go up beyond your imagination. So what happens is out of 150 rupees, if you have put 50 rupees in the bad stocks, they will go zero. Just presume it goes zero. So you lost 50 rupees. So first is 50 rupees loss. Now next 50 will go with the market. If market has gone up 15%, it will do 15%. But the first 50 rupees will go 5 times. So that goes to 250. So out of 250, you reduce the 50 rupees loss. So you still made 200 rupees. 200 plus this 5, which has also gone double. That is another 10. So that's how you make up for the losses and you outperform. So in my portfolio, I had 5% in financial technologies. I interviewed full. I can't believe this happened in this company. He's a first generation Gujarati bhai who's very smart. I mean, he's amazingly smart. But a lot of people, they cautioned me that he's not a good guy. Yet I went and bet on the entrepreneurship of that guy, that he's one of the guys we must celebrate. Okay? But anyway, I was wrong. I proved wrong. I lost that almost 800, 900 rupees in 3-4 months' time. But at the same time, I bought iShare at 2,000 rupees and 6% allocation, which went to 8,000 rupees during the same period. तो क्या हुआ? मेरा 6% हो गया 24%, वो 24 रुपये हो गया. 24 रुपये में मेरा 5 रुपये मान लो 4 रुपये निकल गया उसमें से, है ना? सो 10 का फिर भी मेरा 20 हो गया. एंड मार्केट वॉज फ्लैट. दैट्स हाउ द पोर्टफोलियो वर्क्स. So we will commit mistake. This was I always used to say, Ramdev Agarwal will never blow up a company, but that also record is broken. We blew up. Okay? So mistakes will be committed and everybody will commit mistake. So but when you manage a portfolio of well-chosen 15, 20 companies, it works in portfolio.
Just in that model of QGIRT, where did this company was not fit? Have you done analysis after that? This financial technology problem, that we have a fantastic philosophy which has given us just for knowledge sharing.
Yeah. Incidentally, Ashish Bhai was one guy ahead of crash. He came to my office and he cautioned me that things are not perfect. I kind of listened to him, but still he was absolutely right. You must have a good clap for him. Okay. But coming back to the process, where exactly my process failed, QGLP. So quality of business, I can tell you 100 out of 100. Quality of management has 2 components, competence and integrity. Competence, he gets 200 out of 100. Integrity, I gave him 50, 60, he should get minus 50. You understand? And 1 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. Integrity. Integrity killed the whole thing. Otherwise, a person he's same age, maybe 55, 57, and who started from 0 and who set up 8 exchanges. Global exchanges. Yeah. This achievement calls for putting a statue for him while he's living. That is the kind of achievement he has. That guy to commit this mistake, I hope he comes out of it, this thing. but it's a unique brain. But क्या करोगे? Integrity नहीं होने से सब गड़बड़ जाता है.
Okay, so now what we'll do is that, just moving on to the last section of the panel, I'm going to invite Mr. Kabli. Sir, when you deal with investors and when it comes to selecting asset managers, what are the kind of common questions that investors ask you that, why are you recommending this fund? Or why are you telling me to, so how do you?
See, we feel that investors will make maximum money if they hold on to the fund for the long run. So one of the things, of course, we do see that what is right for him and we recommend what is the right thing for him. But we also see the brand in which he is comfortable. Supposing he is comfortable with, say, SBI or HDFC. So it is better to, if he is comfortable with that brand because he will be able to hold it. So that also plays a very important role. And there is some, once you get the trust of the investor, then he starts trusting you. And then after, say, next time when he comes, then he says, you tell me now, which fund. So then we have, more freedom and then we can give him the best funds where we feel that he will make the maximum money. Now, once he's convinced that he is going to make returns, so that is how, you have to continuously talk to investors, continuously coach them. And plus the market also gives a lot of opportunities to make money because last 6 years have been great, markets were correcting regularly. So one could always go to investors at that time, this is a good time, market has corrected, put some money. So some people may put money, some people may not put money. But people who put money, they become, diehard investors, then they bring in more money. So that's how, you build up the relationship with the client. And
So I think, Chris, you had some observations on selecting asset managers as well.
Yeah, there were a few points, but Ramdaji, I wanted to ask you a particular question. You're a relative newcomer in the mutual fund business, but you all have got a long history of equity investing and brokerage. Being that you're a newcomer, in order to display a track record, I want to know what are the linkages which you have between your broking arm and the research they do and the mutual fund business, so that if we have to convince a client about your equity expertise, how would we do that? And the second part of this question would also be that there are a number of mutual funds with, the most number of schemes are in the diversified category. You have 3 schemes. So therefore, which of your schemes would you personally suggest as something which could be included as a differentiator in people's portfolio?
Let's go to the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, what was it about? I
The
forgot.
linkages between your broking.
Yeah. So, as I gave the explanation how we have evolved. So this is the evolution, and we started writing research in '94. When first time I saw Smith Newcoat and Morgan Stanley and all writing research. So when I saw the company reports and this kind of thing, we said we'll start writing. And it took 6-7 years for us to become the best local brokerage house, Asia Money. So now we are in the poll, we are number 1 or number 2 with Kotak. So we are the best in research house. That is the strength. And from '96 onwards, we started writing wealth creation study, which is very unique. Thanks to my research appetite and passion and Buffett, kind of a thing. So when the company became a corporate, that time to come up to celebrate the first year of the company, we came out with a study on wealth creation. And since then, it has become an institution, and we carried out the study. And this 18 studies means 18 frameworks. And what happens is, whatever I read during the year, about 12 to 15 books, some journals, meetings and all the essence of that goes into that particular study. So as much I have improved, you will see the improvement in that every single study. So whether it is a next $1 trillion study, whether it is a great good gruesome, whether it is emergence and endurance, so all kinds of frameworks are there. Those frameworks are drilled in my mind. You can read the report, but you cannot embrace it as much as it is part of my life, because it is in my head now. Because I spent 3 months, we'll start next month, and in December we'll come out with the 19th report. So that has become the strength. So the research part is, you get free actually. You don't pay for it because this research is done at the cost of the brokerage house. Brokerage house pays for all the research, whatever 25, 15, 20, 25 crores, what they pay for the brokerage clients, global as well as local, that comes free to us, to AMC. I don't think AMC pays even single penny for that. I mean, as a broker, whatever 5% they get, maybe 25-50 lakh जो brokerage जाता होगा जाता होगा. But per se, AMC doesn't pay much to the entire broking side. But broking owns the entire research, and that comes free to us. So that is one of the biggest linkage. So it has a linkage through the research. Otherwise, they do business from their 9th floor, 6th floor, whatever. We don't have anything to do with them. We are their client like anybody else. And in any case, we are not that buy-sell type. See, there can be trouble if I am every day doing new idea. You know, our guys are also somewhere else. Our fund managers are in meeting and all. We don't actually, we don't entertain daily trading. I mean, you see actually, if you send a crore, tomorrow it will not go to even fund manager. It goes straight to the dealer, and he replicates the portfolio as it is where it is. So it is a very different kind of a philosophy altogether. And a brokerage house here or a brokerage house somewhere else, for us there is no difference. And per se there cannot be any linkage. I mean, they are sell side guys, they are quarterly guys. For them, a quarter is a life. You might have seen his charts. Naveen was there, no? He was presenting, he's chief of brokerage. For them, next quarter and next year, that's the end of life. Our life starts after 1 year. We look at 10 years, 15 years. They don't have any role to play in that. No role to play. So there is no conflict between brokerage, and actually, thanks to their brokerage research, we are benefiting full. So I'm exploiting their strengths and not being affected by their negatives. That's how the whole thing is. And we are as independent as any AMC. We have a legacy of 30, 35 years of investing, 11 years of strategy, and very deep research pipeline. If there is one place where equity is understood properly, equity is a passion, this should be called not Motilal Oswal also. This should be called Equity Tower, not Motilal Oswal Tower. This is an equity house. This is house of equities. This is a specialist house, and it will remain so. Because worthwhile money, wealth is created only through equities. I wish I had a real estate division big, because wealth is created two ways, either real estate or equities. But we specialize in equities. So I don't see any conflict anywhere. We only exploit whatever is the strength.
Okay, so before we close, I think just some last observations. Rupa, you haven't said anything for a time, so before we close, just last few observations.
Sir, I just have a question saying that now that you have your existing 3,000 crores, right, you have different kinds of clients in your portfolio, PMS and, PMS clients basically which you interact, where you manage large money. I'd like to know for all the friends here and me also saying that today when we are talking about saying that you have earnings and your markets will expect it to go to 30,000, 40,000 or 50,000, how would you convince because I'm sure you would also have the same question saying that where clients would come back and ask you, saying that should I book profit? I'm sure you also go through. How do you handle that kind of a situation? How would you guide us to handle that kind of a situation?
I mean, you have interacted with me so many times. Okay, so what I have said, you must go back to think. See, what we communicate in the advertisements, by now, see, if you see the advertisement, Modi Sahab got the mandate on 16th. From 17th, in 24 hours, we prepared the advertisement. It is the shortest cycle advertisement. Because I know people are asking continuously, when to buy, how much to buy. So we said, buy now. So that's what I practice. I told you, 16.5 crores dividend, go and check the track record. It got into the market in half an hour. I don't want to even do the timing between morning and evening. We don't practice market timing at all. We don't know what the hell is going to happen in the market tomorrow. Tomorrow market is going to crash or market is going to go up. I know one thing, I can take 10% downside and I have a lot of stomach for 500% upside. So
Okay.
that's how I practice.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir, some observations.
Yeah, actually, Ramdev ji, I would like to congratulate you that, you have been sticking to your philosophy. So last year when Ashish met us, he was talking about equities when nobody was talking. So it's very creditable that you were talking at that time also and you're talking now also. So that gives a lot of confidence. So like one thing which I would like to ask you that, this bull run is, like every bull run is different. In 2003 when the bull run started, so the valuations were very low, interest rates were also low, and US-Iraq war had ended, so geopolitical risks were also not there. So this time around, actually the valuations are reasonable, interest rates are high, and there are some geopolitical risks also. So how do you see this as different? How do you differentiate this bull run from the previous one? And what do you think? When did it start? Actually, what was the starting point of this bull run?
See, we'll come to know after 5 years what this bull run was all about. That's how really it happens. When you are in the thing, see, abhi excess chalu nahi hua hai. See, like I could see when that, I used to see in Tika, this DLF bought 3,000 acres in Gurgaon and the stock is up by 10%. Or some Patel Engineering bought 200 acres in Hyderabad. Arre, मैं बोला यार मेरे यहाँ भी 200 एकड़ है, मेरा भी भाव बढ़ाओ. So when this kind of madness happens, when the stocks start going up, not because of the earnings. Earnings and earnings growth is the only reason for which stocks should move up. When the stocks moving up is stuff for the page views or number of visitors, number of books sold, how many footfalls are there, I think you are in trouble, spoiled. And we are still not in the trouble. And it will start with the e-commerce this time. My sense is, because America, see, whatever wise people do in the beginning, fools do at the end. And in the stock market, all the wise people are living in US. And they are doing this WhatsApp $19 billion and all. So we are going to get our version of WhatsApp here. And then the trouble will start. So you are in a safe zone right now. Very safe zone. अरे यहाँ तो अभी बाईबैक चल रहा है. अभी IPO चालू कहाँ हुआ है? अभी देखना IPO को कितना भीड़ आने वाला है. पूरा बारात आएगा उनका. तब जाके पीक बनेगा. आपका सब पैसे ले जाने वाले वो लोग.
Okay, so I think you've been a very, very graceful and very kind audience for, being in the discussion for quite some time. I think it's only fair that we take some questions from the audience as well. So can I get my team to, so we'll take, I think there is a dinner also which is to be served. So we'll take maybe 3 or 4 questions. And Truptesh, you can shoot questions to anybody, not only to Mr. Agarwal.
Hello. Very wonderful evening to you. I'm a very strong advocate of buy right, sit tight. And when I heard this, I immediately could associate myself. Being a original allottee as a family in VST or maybe ITC or Colgate, so I understand what it actually means. But we as advisors, we typically tend to face a peculiar problem is we are advising the common man. We are advising a person from the middle class. So when we are talking about buy right, sit tight, we are talking only about a very long term. See, I keep telling one thing to all the clients that nobody invests perennially because money is meant for consumption at some point of time. So when I am saving money, I'm only trying to postpone the consumption for something else which I can buy more. So the point is, whenever the markets are going up or whatever, there has to be certain time when I need to keep protecting the value such that, I'm not, or while advising, that the clients, see, when we are talking about buying right and sitting tight, we are talking about a perennial thing. So again comes to booking of profits. I mean, booking of profits may not be the right word because we are talking about only selling some stocks.
When should you sell?
How do we work around this particular thing?
Yeah, so I think we have some catchy stuff. See, you must buy when you have the money and you must sell when you need the money. It will work wonderfully well. It's an overdraft account and our funds are no-load funds. So whether you stay for 1 day, whether you stay for 1 month, you stay for 3,000 days, it's all proportionate per day basis. The cost, what you pay to Ashish, is only on pro rata basis. There is no exit load, there is no entry load. So you decide when you want to get in. I mean, you must get in when you have the money and you get out when you need the money. I hope when you get in, market is low and when you get out, market is high. But you can't do it.
There's just one more clarification here. That buy right, sit tight is our philosophy for how we treat the stocks which we hold from our perspective. That doesn't stop you from, as an advisor, you are managing the allocation for your client. If you think that your client's allocation needs to tactically be brought down, it's obviously in your hands. You have to do it. It's not dependent on us. Yeah, I'll move to the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I have all retail clients with me, and my portfolio contains 98% of equities for my clients also. 98%. So only 2% is in debt for my clients. How it comes is that, as Mr. Ashish said, कि debt में से यहाँ कैसे आने का है. So when they used to put their money into PPF, I just requested them to put 10% of your money into equities. And they agreed for that, and now the equation is otherwise. So 90% comes into equities and 10% goes to PPF, even with the PPF also. My question is that in your this QGLP, where this Motilal Oswal stocks stands, shall we buy that or not?
So our listed, the holding company. I think you need to speak to Samir Kamath. He's the CFO.
Ramdev ji.
He handles investor relations.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay, Brijesh.
Yeah, Ramdev ji, I'm Brijesh from Calcutta. This is the first time I've come here and first time I'm hearing you live.
Thanks
I
for
must
coming.
say, I don't have a question, I have two observations. I'm quite impressed and inspired, number one. Number two, I have been bullish on two things. I'm bullish on life and I'm bullish on equity ever since. So your views, endorses and, convicts so many people like us, and some of you, for example, Mr. Jhunjhunwala, you are the face of equity in India. I think you people are doing a great job. Thank you so much for inviting us to be here, and really look forward to more sessions like you. It really transforms the energy, and we are the guys who promote equity to clients, and we are doing our job. But from time to time, the reinforcement has to be there, and I'm so privileged to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Kamlesh, I have a small question for you regarding wealth being created by equities and via real estate. So quite a lot of investors, they say, real estate is not as volatile as equities is. And, why don't we just remove money from equities and go into real estate? And there have been instances where they have removed out money from, let's say, equity, not the whole amount, but some substantial portion, and diverted towards real estate, quoting these reasons that there is not much volatility over there. So, what kind of an argument can we give towards equity investment or higher allocation? I know there's always a case of asset allocation that you can't put all your monies in one asset class alone, but just that people feel it's a very safe horse to ride on as compared to equity. So would you like to throw some light on that?
See, fundamentally, as I said, equity and real estate both are equity types, but both have different characteristics. And one is like a real estate is very lumpy, very illiquid, and they also have a cycle, except that they don't get quoted every day. But they have a much deeper cycle than us. And let me tell you, most of the real estate 10 years henceforth also will be same price as of today, at least in Mumbai. I don't know about other places. So I had bought a real estate in Bajaj Bhavan at 7,500 rupees in 2003. The seller was selling to us at 7,500, which they had bought at 36,000 rupees, which we sold at 47,000 rupees. Just before we bought this. So, usme bhi cycle hai. It is just not getting quoted, and it is very liquid, mind you. जब आपको पैसा चाहिए नहीं मिलेगा उसमें से पैसा आपको. So the issue is, I'm not suggesting that you don't be in real estate. Like there are various ways of looking at it. If you are very comfortable about it and you understand only that asset class and you are very comfortable about it, don't come to equity markets. You must do what you understand. First thing is 99% in investing is that you must do what you understand. If you, after all this, if you don't understand about equity and real estate, please be happy with the debt, because at least it will preserve your purchasing power. It will not create wealth, because you don't want to create wealth. If you want to create wealth, you have to come to these two. And you must understand both the characteristics. Now, coming to real estate, you know, a lot of people, particularly in this cycle, have put a lot of money into real estate. And they've done fabulously well. And now they want to get out. One person came to me, he said, Ramdev, I have 500 crores worth of real estate and all land in Gujarat and all. But I can't give you the money because I can't get cash for it. Because whenever he goes to sell, 60, 70, 80% is in cash. Only 10, 20% they want to give you in check. So real estate has its own problems in India. At best, you can have 50% real estate, 50% equity. But some amount of equity is suggested, but it all depends on his comfort. You can only explain him the merits of being in partially in equities. I mean, real estate is not bad, but you have to explain the merits of being in equity, liquid. You know, you can do. I mean, if you are in our strategies, it's a 24-hour cycle. It's better than bank loan. I mean, you sell it today, and by the evening or next day, you have the cash. So that kind of liquidity is not there in real estate. Okay?
Ramdevji, a lot of fund houses have come out with 3-year, 4-year, 5-year lock-in period funds at this moment, close-ended funds. Do you see any sense in that at this moment? And if so, is your fund house going to start one? I have a second question also. Now that debt funds have become unattractive for people who want to earn dividend regularly, now most of them are driven towards equity funds. So what will be the alternative for that? And are you going to float a dividend yield fund?
Okay, so see, in terms of perspective on close-ended funds, so I think, you know, how it is normally justified or how it is normally explained. When people say that why so many close-ended funds are coming, and you said that a lot of AMCs are doing it, the answer which comes is that, we want investors to enter right now, and we don't want them to exit at the wrong time. So we would like to get investors in and hold on for next 3 years or 5 years so that they can make money. Now, for the last 90 minutes, I think we had a discussion on how to tackle investors' questions, how to give them conviction about investing in equity. Christopher even asked how to make sure they stay through the entire cycle. So from these discussions, you can make out that we are trying to make an effort to say that investors should be educated and explained about equity in the right way. When you do close-ended funds, what communication you are giving is that I know that you will perpetually do the wrong thing. So I want to physically restrain you from going out, and hence I am going to offer only close-ended funds. I think that's you are like basically saying that these guys will never learn. These guys are never going to learn. I don't think distributors will ever be able to counsel the investor. Let's do one thing, let's just make it close-ended. Okay, so I think it's a roundabout way of doing it. Our belief is that you need to do hand-holding with investors, try to change their thought process and bring them into equity for the long term. That's first. Second point, I don't know what unique skill sets we have suddenly hit upon that we are able to buy stocks which will give returns in exactly 3 years. It doesn't work that way, because at the end of 3 years, it's a sudden death. The fund will mature, the money will go out. So I'm not trying to say that this is right or wrong. I'm just saying that it has a limited time period. The last part which I would like to caution all of you, the media always says, and I have seen a lot of pictures. I am part of a group with Bhatt sir where somebody sent this scan. There is a photograph in the newspaper which says that close-ended funds are done because distributors make more money. I think there is no bigger humbug than that, and it defies pure arithmetic. If you give me, let's say, if you invest 100 rupees in a close-ended fund for 3 years, let's take an example that you are given on 100, you are, let's say, given 4%. Okay, I don't know the numbers, but I'm just telling you example. On 100, if you are given 4%, this is what a distributor is paid. This is what media is communicating. What does the AMC actually make in 3 years? The annual expense is 3%. But what is the terminal value for the AMC? In 3 years, at a 25% CAGR, in 3 years, if the money doubles, 100 will become 200. So what is the expense being charged? You're charging 9% on an average of 100 and 200. And what are you paying? You're paying 4% on 100. And what is the newspaper saying? It's being done because it benefits distributors. I think there's no bigger humbug than that. It doesn't benefit the distributor. Doesn't benefit. Instead, if there is somebody who gives you just 100 basis points trail in those 3 years, what trail have you got? On the opening value of 100 and terminal value of 200, on an average of that, if you get 1% every year, it is definitely much higher than 4% on the opening balance. So I think these are faulty perceptions which are being created. I don't think it is great for the investor. I don't think it is great for the distributor. I think it is just that some people know Excel better, or some people bother to spend more time on Excel, so they are walking away with the cream. That's the whole point. Anyway, that's none of my business. I think the important point to note is that it's not the way to treat investors. You can't make a communication that I think you will always do the wrong thing. I think distributors will never be able to counsel them, and hence let's physically restrain them for 3 years, and let's see that they don't walk out. I don't think that's the communication you want to give. Thank you.
Dividend yield.
Last question here. Last question here. This question is for Mr. Ramdev Agarwal.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to buy 5 stocks which I can hold forever. Which would be those 5 stocks?
So we have 5 products. Value PMS.
No, I'm talking about stocks.
They are stocks for me. Okay. Focus 35, Focus 30, Focus 25.
Oh, I'm already holding that. I want something besides that.
Listen, I am being honest with you. Because I am personally dismantling my entire personally managed fund, and I am buying into the mutual funds. Please believe me. Because I can tell you, and you can see any of the, I think you must be giving the literature. We are putting the best possible ideas in the funds, because I also want to outperform. I don't buy anything personal now. Take it from me. There is no buying in personal anymore. Whatever is there, that has to be folded here. So the issue is that whatever is the best idea is there in the fund, and you can see the fund. We can give you till the last day, till yesterday, what has been there, and you can pick your ideas. They're all the best ideas. I mean, we have only 50 of them. If you look at one fund, say F35, or if you want to see mid caps, then F30, you pick up top 5, jisme maximum allocation stock is the best stock. So, I mean, that's how I would say. Eventually, it doesn't work like that, but still, we think those are the top 5 ideas. Manish, which are those 5 ideas? Which are the top allocation in the mid cap? Because that's the frenzy about.
So, I mean, we have been talking about this for umpteen number of times. We have a Page Industries, we have an iShare, we have a Bajaj Finance, we have an IPCA Labs. I mean, you can pick any of the names. We have a whole detailed portfolio.
Enough. I think.
Okay, Nirav, last question.
Yeah. Sir, I'd like to tap in your years of experience. You know, when one analyzes a business, there are quantitative factors and qualitative factors. Enough has been said, written about the quantitative factors. The first qualitative factor that comes to my mind is management, right? What are the other qualitative factors that you see? इसमें numbers का कुछ नहीं है. आप management को मिलते हैं और कुछ आपको ऐसा strike हो जाता है plus या minus and you take a call. You know, we can't say investing is 100% objective. There has to be a subjectivity in that. तो आपके इतने साल के
See, how I can see, you can figure out where is the qualitative and where is the quantitative. Okay, how we develop an idea. Okay, like very latest one, we have put some money into United Spirits. Okay, how the framework works. Okay, now there is no profit in this company. You have seen yesterday 5,000 crore loss. So I wish the stock goes down to 1500 rupees so that we can double our position. Okay. So how do we look at it? We look at the first thing is whether it is very simple to understand. Okay. We think that liquor is one of the oldest industry in the world and it will remain so. It cannot become digital. It cannot come from China. So you are safe. Okay. Good time, bad time, you are partying. Okay. Now, this is the youngest population country. There's no numbers so far, okay? This is the largest country in the world, going to be at least in 10 years' time, and it is the youngest country in the world. And it is the country where the alcohol consumption is lowest. Okay? And you love to serve branded drinks. People take pride in saying that I serve blue label, I serve black label. So premiumization is the order of the day. So when you have so the demand is going to be exploding like mad, and party has not even started. अच्छे दिन तो आने के बाकी हैं. Okay, so this is the proxy for अच्छे दिन. Okay, अभी भी तो खत्म नहीं हुआ, बहुत लंबा है.
So I think, considering we just mentioned about United Spirits, you should join us and help the stock price go up. Thank you very much.